Now, last week we spent some time talking about the redacted climate documents that came out. These were, of course, Chris Bowen hiding behind the Sharpie, like I've got in my hand, line after line after line after line after line. And you know the detail. This was all about a report which government had, which wasn't about the location of Harold Holt. It was not the location of a secret gold that is yet to be dug up at Sovereign Hill. No national security, just the reality of what is coming our way when it comes to higher power prices, because this government believes we need to completely change the energy system. Last week, the Senate had a very strong debate where, in fact, everyone but the Labor Party voted for the Labor Party to release the damn documents, to release the documents unredacted, and to do so by Friday. Well, Chris Bowen responded to the Senate, and surprise, surprise, it was a giant middle finger. And his view was that there is no need to release any more of the documents. Put simply, Mr. Bowen chose the latter, telling the Senate in a letter that releasing the unredacted advice would reveal details about cabinet deliberations. This is, of course, the justification for tightening the freedom of information laws, making it even harder to get even the pages they didn't put the black line through. Direct quote, "Unless ministers can be assured of the confidentiality of cabinet meetings, they may not speak freely or honestly between themselves and may be more likely to suppress their views on present policies that may be unpopular or politically embarrassing." So is that him admitting that the actual contents of that document is unpopular or politically embarrassing? Any of these outcomes would ultimately impact negatively on Australia's national interest. We must keep the document that it will explain why everything costs more secret, but it's in the national interest to keep it secret. Compromising that confidentiality, he said, could cause ministers and the officials who brief them to temper what they write or say, undermining decision-making and policy deployment. No, we just want to know what facts are you operating with so we know what discussion we're actually having. Releasing the unredacted copy could also harm the government's relationships with the states. The Commonwealth must work to maintain a delicate balance between delivering the best outcomes at a national level and recognising the unique circumstances, policies and needs in each jurisdiction. Blah, blah, BS, BS. Every person bar the government in the Senate, from Lydia Thorpe to Pauline Hanson, believed that these documents should be released. The government turns around with the big middle finger. Well, at some point, when will the Senate turn around and say, well, you know what, until you release these documents, until you actually start opening up and being less secretive, maybe we're going to start slow play the ball. Maybe you're not going to get everything you want when it comes to what you put before the Parliament. Let's wait, let's watch, let's see. Remember, the excuse that he is using for not releasing the document and keeping all of those little black lines is because he's a cabinet minister. And there's special super secret advice that only a cabinet minister should see. Again, it's not about national secrets, it's about what he openly describes as being potentially politically unpopular. And they want to make that system even harder. They basically don't want you to see any of the documents, let alone the ones hardly held together. The Attorney General and the Prime Minister have already introduced a plan. The plan is to make it even harder to get access to government documents, to sweep more of it under the rug. Even the ABC knows this to be rubbish. Labor's plans for freedom of information changes make it even harder to access government data. We will keep talking about it because I think it's central to the democracy. It ain't about Team Red, it ain't about Team Blue, Team Green, Team Yellow. It's about a system that works or works for them. And we already have to work too hard so they can spend the tax money by piddling it up against the wall on whatever they consider to be the priorities.